right, Francis, start with your something.
But there was something, controversy with the that's
let's cut that question. I've written one.
2-minute opening statement, 2-minute answer, and then 2-minute closer.
I've just written one.
Hi everybody, my name is Mary Kay Bacallao, and I'm really happy to be with you here today. I started off my journey as a teacher. I'm a wife, a mom, a teacher, and my kids, all 4 of our kids, were in public school. I was an elementary school teacher and a college professor teaching people how to teach. So I thought, wow, I'm concerned about what my kids are bringing home. I really don't like what they're bringing home. It's against my values, it's against my beliefs. So I ran for the school board in 2008. I didn't win. I ran against an incumbent. I didn't win. The next time, 4 years later, I ran against the same incumbent in the Republican primary, and that incumbent switched to become a Democrat. So I ran in the Republican primary, I won that, and then I won a seat. So here I was, all the knowledge about math and science education, and confronted with the biggest attack on our educational freedom in the history of this nation, which is Common Core. Right here you have all the laws at the state level that were being passed to get us Common Core. I fought against those, been fighting 5 years for me to be able to teach the way I know kids can learn, to be able to help them reach their potential, to live their destiny. So then I found out that the incumbent, who originally voted for a co-sponsor of No Child Left Behind with Ted Kennedy, then this year, in March, I started reading the new bill. Did you like No Child Left Behind? No, it was horrible. So let's come up with another one. Every student succeeds. So I read this, and you know what? It's really bad. I could tell you more about it when we get into the questions. I told him if he voted for that, I would run against him, so that's what I'm doing. Here I am, running against him. He's not going to come.
Mr. Grayson.
I will not talk about myself. You want to know about me, you can see Barbie Dunn over there at the table. She'll give you some sheets on my personal background. It even includes my favorite color of underwear. What I will talk about, however, if you want to know about my platform, here it is. I'm pro-Second Amendment. I believe in absolutely zero amnesty, and I know how to solve the immigration problem. It's all on this card. My flagship platform item is the fair tax. I want to go back. Give me some more time for the applause. I want to go back to pre-1913 when the government was not in our paychecks.
Yes.
They didn't tax us for what we earned.
Yeah.
Now raise your hands if you like the continuing resolutions where they increase the debt ceiling. Raise your hands. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, nobody's raising their hands. Raise your hands if you like the fact that the government spies on us in violation of the 4th Amendment. Come on, raise it. Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. I said, raise your hands if there's a Johnny Isaacson supporter in here. Oh, okay. Well, you know, hey, that is what that is. So,
One of you two's going to get our vote.
I've got 2 pages of Johnny Isaacson's voting record. And understand this, Mary and I are not running against each other. We are running against Johnny Isaacson. If you don't vote for me, don't send Johnny back. Vote for Mary. And Mary and I are both committed to each other. Whichever one of us wins, we will take the other one with us. Mary is committed to reading the bills. Of course, I am too. I am committed to naming the names of those that stand in the way of your liberties and freedoms. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We do appreciate you being here. Do you support the repeal and replacement of the Affordable Care Act, also known as the Obamacare Act? And what would your replacement be? What would it look like if you are against it?
Who first?
Mr. Grayson, you're fine to go first.
No. I support the repeal of Obamacare. Why in the hell would I want to replace it? The federal government has no business in health care. It is not a part of any of the 18 enumerated powers that the government has. The health care issue should be decided by the states, insurance companies, and the doctors with input from the concerns of the citizens of that particular state. And there is where I stand on. In 2014, I was the only candidate that said I want to repeal Obamacare. I don't want to replace it because the government has no business in our health care.
Amen.
Thank you. 2 minutes, Ms. Bacallao.
We definitely need to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Look at the name of it, Affordable Care Act. But what is it really? It's insurance. Who wants to buy more insurance? I don't want to buy more. I already pay too much for insurance as it is, all the insurance that we have to have. It needs to go away. And what we need to do instead is go back to what we do as Americans, what we do so well. We used to have charity hospitals. Do you remember those days? Mm-hmm. We used to say, okay, let's go and provide health care for other people around the world who don't have access to it. That's what we are as Americans. We love to help each other out. We love to help other people. There's that joy in helping other people that these doctors, they want to do this. So why were those hospitals shut down? Because the government wants to come in and change it. And just like it is right now in the VA, look at how messed up the VA is with the health care in the VA. You don't even get to see a real doctor. You have to wait weeks and weeks and going without health care, driving far distances. That's the way Obamacare is set up to be. Fewer real doctors, technicians who are just taking orders. If you read these laws, the Affordable Care Act, Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, Every Student Succeeds Act, they all have components that are connected with the data collection. We need to stop this. We don't even understand what it's going to look like when it's fully implemented, because it's not fully implemented. We need to stop it before it really goes into effect, because we don't want the whole United States system of medical care to look like what's happening at the VA.
Lord.
Ms. Bacallao, many of the directives and policies for our education system are handed down from the National Department of Education to the local school system. What are your ideas for making our education system better?
I have a system right here of bills, and this handout shows all of the bills that have taken away parents' authority, teachers' authority, local school board members' authority over what kids learn, when they learn it, how they're assessed. Right now in this bill that I just showed you, they don't even test reading. It's not even language arts, it's called, math, science, and social studies. It's grade level specific. You know how wrong that is to make everybody do the same thing, the exact same thing, on the exact same day, at the exact same time, in the exact same way? As a teacher, teachers are dropping out. They don't want to be middle managers for the federal government. Our state should not be a middle manager for the federal government when it comes to education. Our kids are the most valuable people. And if we really want to protect them from this federal government takeover that's dumbing them down, not teaching them according to what they can do, because I'm a math education, science education professor, I did the study. Those new standards are 1 to 2 years behind. I proved it. I went around to all the state legislators and I asked them, please stop voting for this. Since 2010 they've been doing it. Then the federal bill, why do they do it? Why? It's because the federal government is taking our tax dollars and using those tax dollars to send money to the states, and it's not even very much money. And Fayette County is only 5%, and 2% of that was going to school lunches. So it's really only 3% of the money controlling everything that we do. The state needs to be able to say no. But now, since the state didn't say no, I have to go there, and I have to say no. Shut the money faucet off. Because the money in so many different areas is being used to bribe us, and that needs to end.
Jimmy Carter gave us the Department of Education.
Oh, yeah.
Took effect right after I got out of high school myself. The effects of the Department of Education has basically destroyed the educational system in urban cities where black people reside. High school dropout rate is off the chain. See, when I was in high school, we had alternative paths of education. If a guy dropped out of school or just couldn't hack it, he could go to the Job Corps. The school would help him get into a trade school. Even in high school, we had auto shop, metal shop, wood shop. You could learn a trade. You could learn how to do something else and go out and be productive in the world. But you know, NAFTA took care of all the manufacturing in this country. What I would do is I would fight to shut down the Department of Education. Quick little story. See, the government first got involved when I was 7 years old. I was in the 2nd grade. 1967. I got a form to take home to my dad for free lunches. So I ran home. Dad, I can get a free lunch. Dad, just fill the form out. My dad said, throw that damn thing in the trash can.
Get him out.
I work. I will provide your lunch for you. We don't need the government to pay for you to eat because I work. That was out of democratic liberal policies from FDR, the New Deal. Still at work. And now you got kids that go to school, get free lunches, yet their parents will go and buy them Nikes and Air Jordans. So this is the state of government being involved in our education system and in our lives.
Thank you, sir.
We asked this question earlier. It's a lot more specific to the Senate, and I can't wait to hear your answer on this. Senators Berg and Feinstein recently introduced a very poorly researched and written bill demanding backdoor access from the manufacturer for law enforcement into consumer electronics devices. Almost all encryption experts say this will prove disastrous and will make citizens' private information more vulnerable and open to cyber attack than ever before. Do you support or oppose a law enforcement backdoor, or do you believe it's law enforcement's job to gain access for themselves, and why?
Our Bill of Rights, 4th Amendment, protects us. Let me put it this way. It restricts the federal government. That's what it was designed for. Of all the civilizations that have ever existed, the one amendment that makes us different from every other country that has ever existed or is in existence today is our 4th Amendment. And that is the right to be left alone from our government. Also in our Bill of Rights, it prevents the government from making us slaves. In other words, what he just asked about this bill, they want to force a private company to develop a back door for them, free of charge. They want to make it law. That's slavery. All over again. And we already know about slavery in this country. It's ugly no matter how we color it. So, sir, I would fight that bill tooth and nail. I would name the names of the people that are responsible for it and who's funding their campaigns, because it is not right. And for those of you that say, well, I've done nothing wrong, so I don't mind the government spying on me because I've done nothing wrong. Well, you go ahead on, and when you file your tax returns, send them all your emails, your voicemail records. Go on and send that to them when you file your tax return. But they got to go get a warrant to look at mine. And I certainly don't want them forcing private enterprise that are in business to protect us, our private data. to give them a back door. Let them break in like the crooks do, like the guy over in Russia that had 20,000 emails from Hillary Clinton's server.
Thank you. Ms. Bacallao, you have 2 minutes as well.
I think that was great. And the real important question is, why do they want this information? What are they going to do with it? What are they going to do with it? Are they going to use it for some reason? Think about that. You know what? They want our students' data too, and they already have it. They already have our students' records. Electronic report cards going to Congress. This is just one more thing that they're getting. We need to stop all of this from happening. We need to stop, you know what? You know how we can do it? We need to stop funding this nonsense. It's our taxpayer money that's funding this, these sneaky people to go figure out and find all of our information. Why would we give them money to do that? It's like if I don't want someone to do something, I wouldn't give them money. If my kids, you know, I wouldn't even be sneaky and look at their stuff because they would be mad at me if I snuck around when my kids weren't looking and looked at their stuff. Wouldn't they be mad at me? Well, we're letting the government do that? If my kids want to go see a movie that was really bad and I didn't want to go see it, I said, no, oh no, you can't go see that. But here's 20 bucks. Does that make any sense? No, we wouldn't give them the money to go see the movie if we didn't want them to see the movie, right? So why are we funding this nonsense? All of these unconstitutional federal agencies, they all need to be shut down. The EPA is out of control. The Bureau of Land Management, out of control. The United States government should only have the land that's in Washington, D.C. They shouldn't have land in the western states. So many things that we're funding. We could get out of debt so quickly if the government weren't using our money to control us.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move on to closing statements. You will each have 2 minutes, and Ms. Bacallao, you can go first.
Okay. I can't sometimes even believe that I'm actually running to be a U.S. Senator because I have fought so hard to stop the government intrusion in education. And this is the only way I know that I can stop it because I have tried every other way. On the school board, I couldn't do it. Talking to the state representatives, I couldn't do it. I ran for state school superintendent 2 years ago, and I missed it by 1.43%, the runoff. I got behind Richard Woods. We got him elected, just barely. He beat Buck, and then now he's state school superintendent. But guess what? He can't stop it. If I were there, I couldn't have stopped it either, because the whole entire State Board of Education is appointed. He's accountable to them, and he's accountable to the laws. So it's like solving a mystery. When you know that it's the laws that are bad. So who's making these laws? Who's passing them? Who's coming up with them? The biggest threat to our liberty is Johnny Isaacson, right here in Georgia. He is the biggest threat to our liberty because he is the one sponsoring this legislation. He's the one passing it, and he's the one that does not come to defend his record. I want to be that person who reads every law, because I'm already reading the law. I might as well go there. Read the laws. Have my Constitution. Have my Bible, which I have for my personal edification. I do not want to do anything, pass any law that is against the Bible or is against the Constitution. And I ask you to vote for me. It's really easy to do. I am the first name on the ballot, so the first name you see, just pick that one and send me to D.C. And it would be so amazing. I'm so looking forward to going there and voting no. That would be awesome.
Thank you, Ms. Bacallao. No rebuttal necessary for Senator Isaacson, obviously. Mr. Grayson, we'll give you 2 minutes. Thank you, sir.
How many of you have heard the statement that I'm going to vote Republican because I don't want the Democrat to win, even though I may have to hold my nose? Raise your hands if you've heard it. That's when we vote for the lesser of evils. There are 3 groups of people in the Republican Party. Those that are conservative constitutionalists like me, that do not compromise. no matter whether it's a Republican or a Democrat. Then there are those that say that they like the Constitution, but yet they will vote for people that they know have violated constitutional principles. Then there's a third group. They say they're Republicans, yet they still vote for things like continuing resolutions, the expansion of government, people like Johnny Isaacson. That is not who I am. You have a choice this time around. Now, I was on the news last night, CBS. They only took just a couple of things that I said and presented it, which was that if you vote for Johnny Isaacson, Nathan Deal will replace him with his own appointment. Johnny Isaacson said, my health is fine, and I challenged Derrick Grayson to come run 2 miles with me. Well, I accepted his challenge. He ain't called yet. He ain't called yet. I'm waiting to go run with you, Johnny. But I haven't heard from him. If you vote for Johnny Isaacson, you are voting for a deal that they have made, and I have this on from very good sources, inside information, that they have colluded to deprive Georgians of somebody that will actually represent Georgia. And Nathan Deal and Johnny Isaacson were both Democrats in the past and became Republicans. Do something different. Do something different. Don't keep going with the established quo. Let Johnny know $18 million is not enough to buy us.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Thank you guys for your time. Thanks for being here.
2 miles? Let's go.
Mike, we're really running over.